Welcome to Pandering Hour. Hello, and welcome back to Pandering Hour. I am your host, Anthony Martin, and today on Pandering Hour, we are going to be talking about country number 156, Uganda. I don't know. I don't know anything about Uganda. I don't know anything. I keep thinking, like, I heard something about Uganda once, but no. This is kind of like, who knows? Let's see. Did it drop in rank? This says Human Development Index number 167, and I have it 156 here. When was this? I have the 20... I have the Human Development Index, and it says maybe it went down? I don't know. Well, let's see. So let's look at the news a little bit. Ugandan news. Let's see what's going on there now. Let's see. No Ugandan has ever crossed here, reclaiming the African road trip. For one couple, a journey through 12 countries gave an insight of how travel in Africa is still dominated by Western tourists. They hope to inspire other black Africans to follow them. When Ugandans Maureen Agina and Edward Ichwalu arrived at the Lesotho border during their 5-month road trip across East and Southern Africa, an immigration officer did a double take. I've been at this post for 8 years, and no Ugandan has ever crossed through here, the official told the pair. She fumbled through her records to see if travelers from the East African country could get into the country visa-free. For most of the places we've been to, that has been the comment. For the couple tweeted as they chronicled their trip on social media. Okay. High costs and visa restrictions have historically made it harder for Africans to travel the continent. Compared with Europeans and North Americans, there is little data on the number of people making such journeys through the countries. But leisure and safari tourism in Africa is still largely dominated by Western travelers. Obviously, because the Africans live there. It's not like, it's like saying Bostonians, not a lot of Bostonians are, taking an East Coast tour. It's like, yeah, they know what's going on. It's not a big deal to be in New York if you're from Boston. You probably make that drive a couple times a month. Okay, so this more so exposes something about Africa more than it does about Uganda. But let's take a look at this. Kenya could follow Uganda as East African nations war on LGBTQ rights. Oh, shit. Is that where... Hold on. Ugandan... Why are you gay? Oh, my God. Why are you gay? Okay, so we're going to do a play-by-play with the Why Are You Gay? Holy shit. So, Muhammad Ali does not believe gay Africans... What? Muhammad Ali doesn't believe gay Africans exist. He says homosexuality is a Western invention imposed on the continent. Openly gay Africans are liars seeking visas to the West or money from rights groups, he adds. Ali is a member of Kenya's parliament. He is desperate to follow the neighbor Uganda by unleashing a sweeping legislative crackdown on LGBTQ people. Even if he happened to be sick and intensive care, he would have to be dragged to parliament to approve it. I will ask them to take me to vote for that, to kick them out. Kick the LGBTQ people out of Kenya completely, he said, weeks after Uganda entered one of the most draconian anti-LGBTQ laws on earth. Kenya could be poised to follow suit with a similarly formulated bill that punishes gay sex with prison or even death in some cases. According to a draft of the law, the two lawmakers backing it in Parliament, similar moves are also afoot in Tanzania. And South Sudan. Parliamentarians in those nations told Reuters, revealing for the first time a broad anti-LGBTQ legislative drive across East Africa. Some regional lawmakers framed the issue as an almost existential battle to save African values and sovereignty, which they say have been battered by Western pressure to capitulate on gay rights. So here's the thing. 10 years in jail? Aggravated homosexuality? Aggravated homosexuality. That's a funny term. Yas, bitch. What is... Oh, okay. Is a hateful piece of legislation that will truly make the lives of queer Kenyans unbearable if passed. I remember reading a travel report on one of the, I think it was Djibouti, saying that oh yeah, if you're LGBTQ, just be, you can be gay in public, just no public displays of affection. And then immediately it was just 10 years in jail. It's no. Promoting homosexuality 5 years. The Kenyan anti-gay bill is being vetted by a parliamentary committee, which can refer it to the full chamber for a vote. Officials have given no indication of the possible timeline. The LGBTQ community fears the worst. 3 rights groups told Reuters in a debate in Parliament initiated by Ali in March about whether to ban speech or publications that promote same-sex relations. More than 20 lawmakers spoke out against LGBTQ rights and none in support. Several called for legislation to strengthen penalties for same-sex acts, including the deputy majority leader who said gay sex could be punished by hanging. Wow. A gay Ugandan shows his scars from an attack on the street in Kenya in 2022 or 2020. Okay. Well, let's go to that video. So we're going to do a play-by-play with Why Are You Gay?
Mr.
So, is it Why Are You Gay with Pasta? Alright. Hopefully this doesn't get me flagged, but we're just going to do a little bit of play-by-play. If you're only listening, come to the YouTube channel. Come, subscribe, like, all that stuff. Let's see. Topical discussion.
Hello and welcome back. This is the topical discussion on the Morning Breeze on NBS Television. My name...
Ooh, you guys are not going to be able to hear that on the podcast. So I'm going to edit this video, so you're only going to get the chopped up bits. Okay?
My name is Simon Kagwanjala, and well, we're also weighing in on the raging debate on homosexuality in Uganda, which is taking another twist today, with questions as to whether Uganda is indeed becoming a safe haven for homosexuals. President Museveni on Sunday, while attending the inauguration of the new Archbishop of the Church of Uganda at Namirembe Cathedral, insisted that, well, he had no problem with homosexuals as long as they did not promote the practice. Well, the media is also awash with stories of soccer ace Chris Mubiru molesting kids and, having I heard this, so
there was something I read on this podcast. I went through a journal, like a medical journal, about the connection between pet see pedophiles, pedophilia, and homosexuality. Why don't I try and find that really quick? So I'm gonna jump out of this. Um, Comparing homosexuality to pedoph. How do you spell pedophilia? Okay, hold on. So this happens a lot. I mean, there's several articles from the JAAPL.org, USA Today, The Independent, Washington Post, University of Oxford. Actually, let's see this. Pedophiles and homosexuals, apples and oranges? Question mark. Australian columnist and TV personality Mia Freedman has been caught in a social media storm after comparing pedophiles to gay people. Freeman's gaffe didn't warrant the furious response it got. The response seems mainly the product of people's inability to understand how analogies and similes work. Friedman, arguing in favor of public sex offender register, claimed that we ought to expect pedophiles to continue to be a danger to children because they can't change who they're attracted to, just like gay people can't change who they're attracted to. Freeman's point was that we used to think gay people could be cured. Now we accept that that's a fantasy. We should say the same thing about pedophiles. But while I don't think she ought to be condemned for homophobia, as so many people on Twitter seem to think, I think that analogy is a bad one. The reason why we don't think that homosexuality can be cured is partly a normative one. You can't be cured of something that is not a disease or illness. We do combine this with an empirical claim, but the claim is inseparable from further norms. We think, or we ought to think, that gay people can be celibate because we think or ought to think that anyone can be celibate. We think that it's unreasonable to expect gay people to be celibate because having close and loving relationships is, at once, faculty and normatively, partially constitutive of a flourishing human life. It is good. Holy shit, I can't read. I was reading a book earlier and I was practicing doing this out loud, and now I'm just fucking it up. It is a good that people can be expected willingly to forgo only under special and limited circumstances. It is very difficult empirically to forego such goods because of their place in a flourishing life, and it is empirically and normatively unreasonable to expect someone to make this kind of sacrifice. Pedophilia is not like that at all. The pedophile is not seeking a loving, intimate relationship, though he may delude himself into thinking that that's what he wants. Why is it he? There's she's. That kind of relationship is a relationship between equals. It is incompatible with too big a disparity in capacity and status. In asking the pedophile to forgo sexual satisfaction, we do not ask him to forgo any especially great good. We do not ask him to bear an especially great burden. Our demand is not unreasonable, but the cost he will pay to abide by it are correspondingly smaller. For the reason, the expectation is neither normatively or empirically all that bothersome. Well, hold on. Well, I don't think this is necessarily accurate. We're looking at pedophilia as a disease rather than a sexual orientation, but people are trying to say it is a sexual orientation. And this is why this isn't it. This isn't the thing that I was talking about. But there was something I read not comparing, linking whoa, what the hell? Facts about homosexuality and molestation. lgbpsychology.org. Members of disliked minority groups are often stereotyped as representing a danger to the majority's most vulnerable members. For example, Jews in the Middle Ages were accused of murdering Christian babies in ritual sacrifices. Black men in the United States were often lynched after being falsely accused of raping white women. In a similar fashion, gay people have often been portrayed as a threat to children. Back in 1977, when Anita Bryant, actually, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Because if like, if there's like if I was hanging out with a bunch of like girls between the ages of 15 and 17, you'd be like, whoa, what are you doing? And if there was a gay guy hanging around a bunch of boys around 15 to 17, I can see why you would start to think the same thing, especially if he was like a gay middle school teacher or gay elementary school teacher. But we don't put that on straight people as often because they can have kids, I suppose. Even though, well, whatever. When Anita Bryant campaigned successfully to repeal a Dade County ordinance prohibiting anti-gay discrimination, she named her organization Save Our Children and warned a particular deviantly minded gay teacher could sexually molest children. But it's not, well, I think what needs to be distinguished is that gay isn't of all ages. Like, the same way that, like, I'm attracted to a woman, like a developed woman. I'm not attracted to a underdeveloped woman. I'm not, like, mentally or physically. Sorry, just trying to find the words for this. Well, yeah, it's the same thing for gay people, but that is exactly what pedophiles are interested in. They want the underdeveloped. It's like someone who, like, I don't want pizza, I want the raw dough. That is the perspective of the pedophile, I would assume. In recent years, anti-gay activists have routinely asserted that gay people are child molesters. This argument was often made in debates about the Boy Scouts of America's policy to exclude gay scouts and scoutmasters. See? Perfect point. They kicked them out. Still happened. More recently, in the wake of Representative Mark Foley's resignation of the U.S. House of Representatives 2006, anti-gay activists and their supporters seized on the scandal to revive this canard. Okay, let's get back to the interview.
Canon knowledge with underage, children deemed to be underage. We bring in the studio this morning one of the gay rights activists, Mr. Should I call you Mr.? Sure. Pepe Onziema. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good morning.
Me. Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
Why are you gay? He's genuinely curious, though. Like, he's that ignorant. Not in, like, I guess in a bad way, but also in, like, a genuine, he's very sincere. How do I refer to you? How do you want to be referred? Why are you gay?
You are gay. You are...
you are gay. Hold on. Let's go.
Should I call you Mr.? Sure. Pepe Onziema. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good morning.
Me. Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
Who says I'm gay? Who says this?
You are gay. You are a transgender.
What?
Oh. So, female to male transgender. Okay. Bad representative. I get, as an American who is very aware of the segregation between the L and the B and the G and the D and the Q. No. You should have had a gay man come on this podcast, although they might have killed him. I don't think a lesbian would be a good choice either. It's really not. I guess you just need a strong gay man, like someone who's like a very charming gay man, someone that you can imagine females would be attracted to, so he can better assimilate into the environment. But he can articulately explain, "Hey, I like to crush butt."
It shows that I'm gay.
You are a transgender,
yes,
and you're a gay rights activist and an outspoken lesbian, homosexual. How can I describe you?
I mean, yeah, that is a very confusing thing. I'm on this guy's side a little bit.
I am Pepe Onziema. I'm an LGBTI
What's that?
activist. I'm a human rights defender. I'll get to what it is. I'm a human rights defender, currently focusing on LGBTI issues. LGBTI means L is for lesbian, which is described as women who are attracted to each other, females who are attracted to each other, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And then gay is two males who are emotionally, physically, sexually attracted to each other. Bisexuals are usually attracted to persons of their own sex as well as the opposite sex. This one usually it's not simultaneously. It's one at a time. One also.
That's a good distinction. That is a good distinction. That is a very smart, because Pepe gets it. Pepe Onziema, he knows that he's going to be like, at the same time, how does this work with marriage?
Tends to, at a certain period of time, overweighs the other. Then transgender is basically an umbrella term to describe people who do not conform to the sex that they are assigned at birth.
Mm-hmm.
An umbrella term in the sense that there are people who are called transsexuals, they are transvestites, they are cross-dressers, and
Hold on. Drag queens are not trans. Drag queens are usually gay. Drag queens are usually gay. That's not cool. You can't. Okay. 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 Okay.
they fall under this umbrella. There are people who dress up to express themselves as the sex that they were not assigned at birth. Then there are those who actually go and have reassignment of that particular sex that they were assigned at birth. Intersex is people who are born with two sexual organs, and it can be expressed either externally, as in you can visibly see it, or internally, as in the organs can be, one of them can be displayed internally. But I'm not a medical expert, so I can't give you more than that for that. But
and where do you lie?
The common thing, the word they use to describe intersex people is hermaphrodite. But in my line of work, that is derogative. Where do I lie? I'm a transgender person.
By the way, I think so. That's a valid question from his perspective. Like, you are representing these people. Where do you lie? Because it's such a wide array. Like, each of these people are living very, very different lives. Like a gay dude, a gay man has such a different life than Pepe. Such a different life. And so do lesbians. Lesbians have a very different life than Pepe. And so do intersex people, hermaphrodites, someone with both genitals. You're telling me someone with peen and puss are supposed to be like, hey, me and just a regular old gay dude, same.
Transgender. You were initially male or female?
The sex that was assigned to me at birth was female.
That's really frustrating. Yeah, I get it that this is a very straight response to this, but like the whole like, so what were you originally? It's like, oh, well, I was always originally a this. You know what I'm asking? Why? Because it's derogatory. But it just seems doesn't seem derogatory, and you're kind of deciding that it's derogatory, and you're offended on your own behalf when you know that's not my intention. But
And you opted to become male.
Not exactly opting. It's something that I have been
yeah,
since I was young. But yeah, in terms of expression, it's who I am now.
How did you discover that you were actually meant to be male?
Well, growing up, you know, a child is born, and when you're growing up, you're within a society that has a certain structure.
Pepe's fucking this up by being way too slow. This guy, I don't remember what this guy's name is, but he is ready to pounce on Pepe, and I get it that Pepe's under a lot of stress and he's maybe trying to slow things down. But you should have been. He obviously has experience. Pepe has experience doing this, and had answers for questions that hadn't even been asked. And the fact that he's fucking it up is not lending itself to his cause.
Yeah, and you see yourself basically fitting more in a certain
He is also probably thinking that this guy's a fucking idiot.
box. I said I was born female, but my expression at that time and my internal sense of myself was male.
So
As a child.
have you realigned yourself into being a male, or you still share both sexes?
That's a valid point. At a certain point, every transgender is sort of sharing both sexes. That is an extremely progressive point from that guy. This guy's keeping a pretty open mind about this. I mean, he kind of broke it out pretty. It's a pretty aggressive question to be like, "Why are you gay?" But that's not a bad question in my mind. Like, yeah, you're right. At some point, like, if Pepe has not had gender reassignment surgery, in a way, they are sharing both the sexes.
I am within transition.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You're within transition.
Yes.
Now, we're looking at the raging debate. You're a gay rights activist. Why should someone be gay?
Just for the record, I am not a gay rights activist. I believe there's nothing like gay rights. There is human rights. There is human rights. And there are humans
Good.
who are
Strong.
gay and those who are not gay. So
That's
I'm
good.
a human rights activist who is advocating for equality for even people who have different sexual orientation or gender identity.
So as we stand today, are you dating any female?
Yes, I am.
You have a girlfriend.
Yes, I do.
While in transition, you're having a girlfriend.
Yes.
Do you perform the natural obligations?
You can't. All right. Well, well. You lost me. You lost me, sir.
I'm not sexually active right now.
So what are
By
you doing with
choice.
this lady?
By choice.
By choice.
Yeah.
Celibate.
I've just not.
That's a
I've
good
chosen
answer,
not to
too.
Engage.
Doesn't that make you gay?
What do you mean? Doesn't that make me gay? I am male and attracted to a female.
I see. Once again, the ignorance. Keep in mind, I grew up with trans people. I've had hour-long conversations with at least like 5 or more trans people about non-trans things and trans things. He's very ignorant, but not. It doesn't seem inherently evil, his ignorance.
So who is gay?
I described a gay person earlier.
Someone attracted to
The same sex.
To the same sex.
Yeah.
I see what he's saying. So you're not. So he's saying. So I get both points. So Pepe is like, I am male. I am in transition to male. And this guy, the host, is saying, you are sharing both genders. So can't you be lumped in with gay because you are sharing both genders and you are dating females? And, Pepe's frustrated because, okay.
Mentally, emotionally, physically, sexually.
So, as a human rights activist, what do you think of gays? Are they normal? Is it normal to be gay?
Absolutely. I mean, most people. We had a chat a little earlier, and gay people are born that way. They are born gay. Yeah? Because you tend to realize yourself as, or find out these changes in you when you're a child. But because of the structures of the society as it is now about male and female, all those boxes that are placed there, if as a male I'm attracted to another male.
I think that's one of the reasons why they phrase it that way. You are born gay. I think the truth is you kind of discover your sexuality the same way that you discover fetishes, kinks, what you're attracted to, who you're attracted to. I think it's very valid. I think saying that you're born gay is a workaround to saying that you grow into your gayness, which I think that there's no way to stop that. I think that every human being kind of grows into their gayness if they're gay or not, or they don't. The same way that you grow, like Pepe probably grew into the idea that he needed to transition. But to say that you weren't gay before and now you are creates an argument for causality, like what caused you to be gay, and by trying to examine it from that perspective, inherently creates an antagonist sort of argument towards gayness and LGBTQ.
When we're growing up, the structure is okay. Simon has a son. Simon will marry. The sort of betroth you as kids. They will be like Simon's son will marry Pepe's daughter. Yeah, but then Pepe's daughter or Simon's son realizes that as he's growing up, actually this thing is not working. He's not attracted to my daughter, but he's attracted to my son. But because society dictates that it should be my daughter with your son, then people tend to hide who they are. And then people think that it's a choice. But the whole feeling, the physical, the emotional begins at a very early stage.
The silent
and when
suffering.
People get to an age of puberty where in most cases people get sexually active, most gay people do not express with the same sex due to fear, because they do not want to be seen as not being part of the society. But gay people are actually born with this orientation.
Is this a disorder?
Absolutely
or something
not.
Natural?
It's not. We have
records
from the World Health Organization. A team of experts who also thought it was a mental disorder. And later on, it was scraped off the list of disorders. And I'm not just using that as an SI unit or a yardstick to say that.
When do they bring in the priest?
It's not a disorder, but it also backs up the fact that it's not a disorder. I have lived for a certain period of time. I lived as a gay person because it was the easiest way for me to come out to my family to say I'm a lesbian and not a transgender. You see.
And how did it feel?
What?
Being gay then?
It's normal. I mean, it's human. There's nothing strange about it. What is strange?
Okay, I feel like Pepe's trying to cover up. He asked a very sincere question. How did it feel being gay back then? I think Pepe fucked up by not expressing sincerely their experience that, like, you know, having to layer your identity with other identities so that it can be better received from the people around you. That sounds terrible.
About it is the way people react when you tell them you're not like them.
What do you think of the stereotype that this gay culture has received in Uganda?
It's very disheartening. We are humans, we are Ugandans, we've been born here, we've been raised here, we've gone to school here. Some of us have been forced to get married here. So this is a country for all of us. But the stereotype is really hurtful because as a transgender person, I've described to you that I'm attracted to female. That if it came down to my sexual orientation, I'm heterosexual. But when people look at me, they automatically think, the automatic thing is that I'm gay, and they will attack me as a gay person.
Do you feel you deserve sympathy when whatever you're doing is very unnatural, biblically and socially, naturally, it's unnatural?
Okay, I see. Hold on. He's using words like unnatural, but I think, and which I definitely can see how that this is going to incite, or he sounds very antagonistic, but I think what he could be better articulated as, do you feel, he's saying, do you feel like you deserve sympathy? I want to hear the response. I think what he's trying to say is, can you, like, do you think you deserve sympathy even though what you're proposing is changing our current way of life and is probably, instead of a natural, probably offensive is a more accurate term, or accurate word.
I think it's the fear of the unknown. People who do not understand homosexual people think all these things about homosexuality. And people normally go straight away to thinking about sex. And that is where the danger is. And because of a lot of ignorance as well, it's a bit difficult. I wouldn't say we deserve or want sympathy, but I believe that as Africans, as Ugandans, we are a tolerant country. We are our nature is actually
how many people are you
Ugandans.
speaking for?
I'm
How many
talking
people are
about
you speaking
Ugandans.
for?
I'm speaking as a Ugandan.
So Pepe is not addressing something, which is the fact that he's like, your activism is changing our way of life. This is new to us. You've been dealing with it your whole life, but this is new to us, which is kind of what America's been going through lately, which is like, it's what we went through with like Stonewall and all those things, when like people were gay, they had lived their whole life being gay, and gayness, LGBTQ people like to say like, oh well, gay, like our people have been around since Egypt, trans people were in Egypt, but like this is in current society, there is no place there in this level of Ugandan society, and in previous iterations of American society. As it evolved, we had to create places to receive these people. There had to be a place for these people, and there is now.
I'm speaking as a Ugandan.
And how many Ugandans are into this practice?
What do you mean practice?
Okay, this culture.
Let me rephrase it and answer it this way. How many homosexual people are there in this country? There are no statistics. They've been...
a great answer to this would be they're too afraid to expose themselves for fear of violence. That would have been a fucking torpedo on this guy. Because of the questions you're asking, we would like to educate. Okay.
Guesses for about 3% to 5% of the Ugandan population. But obviously with space, us being pushed away from, from space, to be able to raise awareness, it's very difficult for us to carry out a survey to find out how many we actually are in this country.
So are you craving for attention or recognition?
Craving is not the word I would use. I would say that we are working, I am working towards the liberty, the equality of all persons, and no person should be discriminated or stigmatized because they are of a different sexual orientation or gender identity. So it is about equality, which is guaranteed by the Ugandan Constitution.
Don't you think gays, homosexuals, lesbians, transgenders should instead be reoriented other than receiving all this kind of recognition? Because society seems to deem them as unnatural, as people who are maybe lost.
Simon, you're seated with me right now.
Yes.
How unnatural is that?
Well, it's natural, but I'm just baffled.
Well, we are not...
It's just a trip being here. It's like he's talking with an alien. It's like, why are you here? That's pretty dehumanizing. Damn, that's brutal.
Craving for attention, and if you look at the attention that that we are getting, it's totally negative. You know, it's of how unnatural we are, how un-African, how un-Ugandan we are, all those things, and you know, it also baffles me if we, with all this negative press.
Okay, I want to jump to when they bring in the guy.
It's some group, you know, it's some group in leadership that is trying to push the society to believe that this is the #1 issue for this country. And that is not true.
Is it true that fighting for gay rights is a lucrative business for you?
It is not a business. Seriously, Simon, why would I, with all the insults that Sempa has been hurling at me on air, why would I be in this? Just because I'm a gay person, I should not wear a nice suit. I should not wear things that I desire.
Yeah, because society doesn't approve of whatever you're doing at the moment.
What do you mean? So I shouldn't be dressed because of that?
They're getting into... Once you start hearing, this is like an African thing. So I should not be dressed? Like as soon as they start tacking on like the like once you start hearing syllables tacked onto the end. So I should not be dressed?
Legally, is there any legal justification for homosexuality?
I told you I'm a human rights defender. And I see Pastor Sempa has come here.
They fucked. Ew. They should have put him on the same side as the other person. Although I suppose, because now it looks, this is a bad.
Yeah. When I agreed to come to this show, I spoke to you.
I'm sorry, it's just storming.
No, he cannot just storm in. So if he storms in, I storm out. Thanks for your time. I cannot go on with this debate
Before
anymore.
you go, do you recognize these things?
Pepe, I'm sorry. Can you give me a minute?
Pepe, do you recognize some of these things here? These are some of the things they use. I want to give you evidence.
Ooh.
You see,
Pastor, aren't you being too harsh to these people? Why for once can't you relax and then think about the pain they go through as society ostracizes them?
See, he's not a bad guy. He's trying to give voice to one group of people and also not ostracize the people, like the current like the, you know, not the current people, the people who are keeping things as they are. I don't know. You know, it's like if
bino biraba bino ebintu bino ze karoti ze bakozesa okiwulira bakozesa karoti zino ne befu oyo omuwala gw'olabye alowooza nti musajja she thinks she's a man but she does not have the equipment to be a man. So what do? To be able to try and penetrate the other person, they use carrots bakozesa carrot okiraba bakozesa amatooke.
I think you're being a little
no. Bakozesa mbogoya bakozesa bino bichukamba. Nze mbadde mulago. I am a counselor. For many years I counsel people like her. When I counsel them, I discover that they have problems. Some of the problems is when you use something like this. So when you use something like this and you put it inside you, you rip your urinary tract areas. When they put it inside there behind, ngabona Chris Mubiru, abana bayulika chetuva tukiyita okuvuga olupanga.
But this is a disorder, right? If it's a disorder,
yes.
Do you feel you're handling it the right way?
Yeah.
damn. He hit him hard. That's a torpedo. Good on you, Simon.
Yes.
Or you're being too aggressive, too harsh on them.
No. You see, first of all, we have the good Bible that tells us, even the Quran tells us that this is an evil. Tukimanyi nti ekintu kino kikyamu. Bible yakiyita kibi. Era netubuulira nti mu mulembe ogujja waliwo abagenda okuvaayo ng'ate beekuba ki beepika ate nga beeteekamu ki amaanyi. Kati omuwala omanyi ssente z'alina. Omuwala oyo alina ssente empya n'enkadde. Bw'ogenda ku Facebook ye bali mu kunywa emyenge, bali mu kulya, bali mu pate, tebakoowa. Nze kambabuulire ate ekira tuyira n'olugendo mu Luganda ewaffe nze ndi musajja Muganda nti ow'ebbango bw'otamuwemukira teweebikka. Kali bajja wano ne batandika okwambaza laba ayambadde obugoye obulungi. Owulidde? Ayambadde obugoye obulungi, ayambadde suuti naye si musajja mwana muwala. Ekibuzaabuza nti olaba ekyana, olaba omuwala omulungi. Naye ate kubanga Mukama yamutonda muwala ki mulungi mutunuulire kyana naye ate yeefuula omusajja.
His claim is he's biologically fated to be a woman.
Kakati what makes him?
I'm glad Pepe is back.
I'm glad she has got.
Can you
courage.
shake hands before we proceed?
Of course. How are you, Pepe? Nsaba Mukama amaanyi go gayingira omwana wa folo.
Pastor, no.
Kamusabire ko lwaza yagala.
No. Pastor.
Something just happened. I don't know what. It was happened in Uganda.
Pastor, let's maintain civility on the show. Let's maintain civility. Let's maintain civility. Pastor Semper argues that these are the instruments you use.
These are vegetables.
Yes.
Vino.
I eat.
Yeah, cucumber.
Yes.
My plate.
He's trying to hand him a cucumber, dude.
You eat them on your plate.
Yes.
You don't use them when you're having carnal knowledge.
Absolutely no, and Semper should stop misinforming the public.
Kati ono alimba. Me, I'm a counselor. I've counseled many of these. First of all, they start in secondary school.
Why don't you start with counseling other than being confrontational to this young man?
This one is an evangelist. This is a missionary of sodomy.
A missionary of sodomy. Strong words. I'm well versed in the language of religious people. Those are some strong words. Uganda
Africa Sodomy Association ono yakikulembera balina budget ya million $4 eza $. Amasuuti olowooza gano ga sente agajja mu wino.
Can you justify that? Just a second. Can you justify? Let me give him a chance to respond. Pepe.
Why did he do that? Well, he ripped open the cucumber and started eating it. What the fuck?
Just translate what
Pepe,
stuff he's saying.
You are paid heavily to promote homosexuality in Uganda. What's your reaction?
It is not true. He claims I have a lot of money, I'm wearing fancy clothes and all that stuff. I do not even earn the amount of money he thinks. I do not even earn $100
Mm.
a month or even annually. I do not make the money that he thinks that we make. I'm talking
Just a second.
talking about promotion of homosexuality, recruitment and all those things. They do not exist. It's just the pastors and his group. They're
I get it. Okay, so there is this idea that the same way that he is recruiting people for the church, as this movement grows and people join it, that there is a recruitment factor. When in reality, it's like was Martin Luther King recruiting people to his in his speeches? No, the words he was saying were resonating with people. You know, the movement is his words were like rain on a field of grass. Like it just grew.
their propaganda.
Hey.
Do you
Just
believe?
to stop debate like this.
Yes. Do you
That is what they're
believe that
doing.
there's been sexual abuse in this country, propagated by yourselves as human rights promoters? This guy is as human rights
Chris
promoters.
Mubiru.
Just ask the question again.
Do you believe that there's been sexual abuse, actually sodomy, unleashed towards
Okuvuga
kids,
olupanka.
towards underage children, and towards the vulnerable?
Propagated by my work.
Yes.
There is no such thing.
So
There
What,
is no
what's your
such
work?
thing.
What's your work? What does your work entail?
It entails advocacy around sexual orientation and gender identity. And this includes making sure
What
that
is our
people
education?
that,
First
that,
ask-
that,
Just a
that-
second.
that people access health services, they access education, they access, like the so-called normal Ugandans. We advocate for every person to be treated the same, not because I am a transgender person.
There was a going back to what Martin Luther King said. MLK on dignity. I have the audacity to believe that people everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. That. If you protest courageously, and yet with dignity and Christian love, when the history books are written in future generations, the historians will have to pause and say there lived a great people, a black people, who injected new meaning and dignity into the veins of civilization. Whenever you are engaged in work that serves humanity and is for the building of humanity, it has dignity and it has worth. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protest to degenerate into physical violence. I want to suggest some of the things that should begin your life's blueprint. Number one should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your worth, your own somebodyness. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth, and always feel that your life has ultimate significance. Okay, that first one is better, but yeah, I'm a big fan of MLK.
You treat me differently. We're all Ugandans and we are protected
Do you
by
need counseling?
the Constitution. I do not need
Okay,
counseling.
Sebo, let me help you, sir.
I do not need
I'm
counseling.
glad she's talking about for everyone.
he,
No,
he.
it's a she. You see,
He.
this one is a banana.
Don't
See, this is what this man recognized. I think his name was Simon. I think this is what Simon is recognizing, is that this person, that Pepe just wants to live with dignity and civility, and this pastor is trying to strip them of that.
abuse someone's
There's
sex.
I know her.
This gentleman is a
No,
transgender.
she's a female. There are no two. It is either male or female. Let me first tell you, sodomy is about confusion. Now, I want to bring you to speed. Abantu bonna muyina okumanya. This person is confused and she's exporting her confusion. She's a woman, but she's thinking, excuse me, Phil,
Pastor,
I've given you a
please
chance.
stop
You
insulting
see,
me.
a
Stop insulting
banana
me.
is
I've
different
respected
from
you
a
enough.
cucumber.
I have
A carrot is different
respected you
from
enough,
a
sir.
banana. I want you to understand. You cannot equate.
is food.
No,
That
you
is
no.
food.
These are not equal. So for you to say we are advocating for everyone's right, when you are a sodomite, you are committing a crime. And a crime that makes
ask
you
simple question?
social, excuse me.
They have
Why
a
are you
right.
so
No.
obsessed?
You
Why
are
so
you have a
obsessed
social
with
obligation.
anal sex?
This is a truth. You have a social obligation when you commit a crime. If you knock
A crime of the Bible. Yeah, this is pretty brutal. Yeah, that took up pretty much the whole hour. Like, I can't. That was a lot to unpack. I think. Fuck. These people in Uganda must be going through some really, really hard times, because they don't even. That is the LGBTQ issue in Africa right now, is that gay people can't even live with dignity. And to use the words that they're using makes it sound so like different. The promotion of homosexuality, like here in America, there is a promotion of homosexuality. Like, there is like sort of a disingenuous, not about, like, it's I don't even know what it's about anymore. It's the same reason why we mock corporations for going rainbow during the month of June. But they're not doing that. They are literally fighting for human rights in Uganda right now. Let me see something. How can I support LGBTQ work in Uganda? If you go to outrightinternational.org Uganda Fund, there is a place where you can donate. Yeah, that is horrible. That makes me want to cry, how bad that is. That person, that Pepe, is living that kind of life. What are they up to now? What's up, Pepe? Not Pepe Silva. Pepe Sylvia. Pepe. Hold on. How do I go back? How do I go?
So for you to say we are advocating for everyone's right, when you are a sodomite,
Having carnal knowledge with underage children deemed to be underage. We bring in the studio this morning one of the gay rights activists, Mr. Should I call you Mr? Pepe Julian Onziema. Thank you.
Pepe Julian Onziema. Are they okay? If you go to look up Mr. Pepe Julian Onziema, they probably have the best links to how to help people. ned.org fellows Pepe Julian Onziema, National Endowment for Democracy, supporting freedom around the world. This seems more legit than the gay thing. I don't believe when it's about the freedom of rights. Yeah, this is just uncivil, cruel, borderline terrorism. What that pastor was doing. That's terrible. All right. I was hoping that'd be funnier. Honestly, I was hoping that'd be funnier, but that was a pretty serious interview. It opens pretty goofy because he asks dumb, sort of basic questions. Although Simon was doing that on behalf of Ugandans, who are, for the most part, ignorant about gay stuff and currently still are. Yeah, that's not good. I will leave a link to this person in the description of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.